Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Brandon here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guests are Sean and Elizabeth, and they're selling their Amazon FBA and FBM business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Sean and Elizabeth, and how are you both doing today?
Thanks, Brandon. Nice to be here.
We're good.
Yeah, it's great. It's really nice to have you both on the call today and talk to you about this business that you've built. But before we get into the details, let's give a general overview. So it is an Amazon FBA and FBM business in the equipment and electronics niches created in February 2014. The average monthly revenue for the business is $156,494 and makes an average of $71,290 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 54094 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, what's included in the sale is the Amazon Seller Central account with 15 SKUs, and that includes 12 active SKUs and 3 inactive SKUs, 5 domains in all site content and files, a U.S. trademark, an email list with over 8,274 subscribers stored in MailChimp, social media accounts for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, supplier contracts and relationships, and it is worth noting that inventory is not normally included in the list price, and further details can be provided to active buyers. So, Sean and Elizabeth, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure. My background was direct marketing, actually, mail order, before the internet was kind of a big thing. And it seemed like a natural progression, and Amazon was the leader in that. So I hopped on that early and started sourcing products that I thought would be evergreen, that we could just keep selling over and over again without having to worry about technology. And that seems to have taken off kind of immediately. And it started growing pretty quickly. And my wife's background.
I came from the retail world, the brick and mortar world, for 30 years in retail management. And once this business started taking off, I ended up leaving my corporate job and joined Sean. And we've been doing this ever since.
Yeah, I think it sort of happened pretty quickly where she was like, hey, is this working enough that I can quit? And I kept saying, no, not yet, not yet. And she said, well, I'll leave in a year if it's continuing to be successful. And then 2 months later, she quit. And that was 5 years ago. And we've been able to run it with just the two of us. We don't have any employees, office space, anything like that.
Yeah, it's an amazing story to hear that you both were able to turn this business into a full-time project that was able to sustain you as well. So that's really awesome to hear that. Now, how does this business primarily make money then? I noticed you have both FBA and FBM in the business model, but which one would you say is driving the most revenue at this time?
FBA for sure. FBM, we only use like to launch a product or to test a product, or if we're just spreading out our inventory, something like that. But 98% of the business is FBA for sure.
Okay. During those initial stages when you said you were doing mail delivery and things of this nature with products, what was it that stood out to you about the equipment and electronics niches that you saw as a great potential with this business?
It started with a product that we just thought was kind of cool looking. Then we realized we tried doing like a fad products early on. And then we realized that the way for us to go would be evergreen products that didn't require a lot of support. They weren't limited by technology. We weren't going to be stuck with a garage full of fidget spinners or anything like that. It's products that just kept selling, kept moving, and that were easily expandable with our product line.
Yeah, that's a really great strategy, and it's obviously working out really well. I mean, the business is doing amazing now. So why is it that you both have decided that you would like to exit the business?
Well, we have kids that are just about high school level, have other things we want to do like music. We want to go on a world cruise, that kind of stuff. We weren't actually thinking about selling the business. We were just going to keep doing it, but we started getting interest from other buyers. And that's when we started seriously considering like, oh, maybe we should. So that's where we are now.
Yeah, it's a really great opportunity that you were able to discover this chance to make an exit for a lot of money as well, too. It's great. Now, was there anything that you learned while growing this business that you plan on applying to maybe current or future projects down the road?
Well, I don't know that we're going to do more of this, but the way we built it is we built it organically and by always taking care of the customers. That's really been our strategy all along. We don't exaggerate claims. We don't do the quick tactics for the quick buck. We've been just slow growing it, and it's paid off. We have a loyal customer base that when we get repeat business from that as well. So that's really been our strategy. That's what I would say. If we were going to do something like this ever again, we would do it the same way. We'd just keep it building with organic growth and customer satisfaction.
Yeah, that's a really great piece of advice. And for those who might be considering this business as well, too, is to take that slower approach, but make sure it's really good quality and you have a great following to back it up. Now, was there anything that you tried with this business and it just didn't give you the ROI that you were expecting?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That would be the fad products that I talked about early on. We were like, hey, these selfie sticks look like they're going to be the next big thing. And we just couldn't do that. It just didn't make sense for our business model. You actually reminded me of something about what we learned also, and that would be we decided we were never going to compete on price. We were never going to be at a race to the bottom because there are plenty of sellers that just try and undercut everybody. And instead of racing to the bottom with our price, we always added more value for the customers, and that's been our strategy.
Yeah, that's a really amazing approach to building that following. And again, you're building also that brand trust as well, too. So that's really great to see that. Now, are you doing anything else in terms of marketing? I noticed you do have a large email list with over 8,000 subscribers. Are you sending out promotions or any type of marketing content to that list? Or walk us through what are some of your basic marketing operations right now?
Well, most of our traffic honestly just comes from organic Amazon because of the reviews that we have and the placement that we have. Our rating, our customer feedback. Occasionally, we will maybe put a post on Facebook or something like that, but we're not savvy that way. That's an opportunity that we just haven't exhausted or even started, really. Yeah, we just haven't done too much of that. If we do any kind of marketing, it is with our email list, and that is mainly for repeat business, and that's been working great.
Okay. So just follow-up emails. Is there any type of campaign or sequence that you have them go into once they've made an order after XYZ time, or is that something that you kind of do on a manual basis?
We do have some automated follow-ups, but we will do things like on holidays, or the last one we did was like Father's Day. We did a Father's Day mailing. We sent out a loyalty coupon code to our customers. That gave us more sales with the email, and it gave us a bump on Amazon, which then gave us better reviews, which then raised our rating on Amazon.
Yeah, it's really great to hear that it had that kind of return for you. Now, hypothetically speaking, if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways that you both would try and grow it?
Yeah, that's kind of an easy one. First, we are brand registered with Amazon. So we have the ability to do enhanced content. I'm sure your buyers are aware what that is. That allows you to add photos, tell a brand story, add extra images, all that kind of stuff. We just haven't done it because we don't have the time or, it's just the two of us. We just haven't explored it. It's something we really should have done last year or the year before, but we just never got around to it. That's the first thing we do. The second thing we do is we've been invited by Amazon to the other country platforms. And we looked into it, like UK, Australia, Singapore, India, Middle East, Canada, Mexico. We keep getting solicited by them like, hey, you have demand in these countries. That's something else we just haven't explored. That would be an obvious expansion.
Yeah, we really want to stay kind of part-time.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons we're actually looking to potentially sell is because we do see that the brand could really go somewhere with the right infrastructure.
Correct.
But that's just not what we're wanting to do. We want to
We don't want to hire employees. That's really it. This is at a good level for us, but it's sort of outgrowing us, and we just don't have the time or the infrastructure.
Yeah. Other ways we would expand if we were staying with it, like Sean said, the global markets, other platforms. We've been approached by Walmart and some other avenues. we would expand, add SKUs to the lines that we have and add variations. We really haven't explored PPC really at all, or social media. I mean, we've barely dipped our toe in the water in either of those, and it's just not our forte. So that's a huge opportunity. And we haven't taken advantage of things like the enhanced content on Amazon. We are brand registered and we could do that, but we just
haven't gotten around to it. And also, like with the product line, the way the products are set up is they're set up for accessories, variations, bundles, that kind of stuff, which is also something that's on our list of things to do. We just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, that's pretty common. I mean, with just the two of you working on this business and it being scaled at this level that you have now, it's pretty common when you want to pass that baton on to the next owner who could ultimately push the business to its full potential. So yeah, I completely understand you on both points there. Now, can you walk us through what are some of the typical tasks or some of the weekly operations that you're performing on the business at this time?
Sure. So I spend my time just really maybe 1 or 2 hours a day at the most. I monitor the daily sales on Amazon. I track our inventory everywhere. I compare our sales to last year and I identify our sales trends so that I make sure that we are always in stock, that we are placing orders in ample time to get it here. And I manage that relationship with our vendors.
I think what she's trying to say is she organized us. I was really doing it for the first couple years, just kind of winging it. Like, hey, I think I should order. Wow, I sold it out. Hey, I think I should order. Sold out. But then she organized us, and that was when we had huge growth. Just by knowing when to order and when to send in.
And what to order.
And all the quantities. I wasn't doing that before.
And then Sean really spends his time investigating other product potential, launching new products, and communicating with customers.
Yeah, that's my side of it. I do the customer correspondence.
Yeah, I mean, between the both of you, it seems like you have things pretty well organized as well through your workload. Obviously, you'd like to do so much more, have the structure behind it to scale even further. But do you feel that there's any particular skill set that a buyer should have prior to acquiring this business from you both?
Not really. I think that anybody who's going to buy it probably has those skills already. And it's nothing that, like, we didn't come into the market. One of you guys had asked us about, was this your passion or this line of products? Or did you have some proficiency in this product? No, we learned after, and it didn't take long. We sort of found products that we thought were cool. And then through customer interaction and feedback, we learned how to alter the products or customize the products so they have a unique selling point. So they're slightly different than a lot of the other products on the market. And we learned about different uses for some of these products, then became keywords. So it's easily something that we could just tell someone, but I don't think there's any kind of special skill.
I think the only special skills would be the ones we identified as an opportunity, which is kind of the social media, the PPC, the kind of tech end of it, which is that's not our thing. Yeah. We just sort of built it, like I said, mostly organically. And when we look at that stuff, we just kind of get exhausted and go, listen, we're fine. But yeah, if somebody had a penchant for PPC, social marketing, and then had the infrastructure to expand into these other markets, I don't think it would be difficult. And I don't think it would require any special skills other than that.
Yeah, that's great insight as well, too. And I'm sure our potential buyers out there that are listening to this call can also see the value and the simplicity in that transition period to take this business over. Now, on the flip side of that, what do you feel are maybe some of the potential risks associated with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
That's a good question. I think the risks, it's dependent on Amazon. That's the main source of the business. So just abiding by Amazon's ever-changing moods and policies, that's been the biggest thing for us, and we've managed over the past 6-7 years. Yeah, about 6 or 7 years. And we've managed to pivot each time they throw something at us. So I would think anybody that is already doing this or something similar, it's the same as what they're already doing. As long as they can navigate Amazon, then they'll be fine. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there. And that's something that we do have many Amazon FBA sellers mention as well too when I ask that question. So yeah, completely understand there. Now, are you both willing to commit to a non-compete, meaning once the deal is done, you'll stay out of this specific niche?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. And then how much support are you offering potential buyers? Are you going with the typical 30 days of email and call support, or did you have something in addition that you would like to add on to that?
We're more than willing to do the standard 30 days, but we also are willing to do more than that.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly want to see whoever takes it over succeed. This has been a big part of our lives, and we're happy to really kind of do whatever you need, within reason. We don't want to work for the next year or so, but if somebody has some questions or needs a little extra support, that's totally fine.
Yeah, that's really great to hear that. And I'm sure our potential buyers as well can also see the value in that support and you wanting to see the business succeed once the deal is over. So that's really great to hear. Now, are you both open to negotiating something like an earnout where you'll receive a large portion of the sales price up front and then smaller payments closing out the deal after that?
Yeah, our preference would probably be to have a cash deal, but, we're open to discussing that during negotiation period, and it depends on the deal and the structure. So it's not something that's off the table for us by any means.
Okay. That's great to hear. Now, just a few more sideline questions for you both. So what advice would you give to our listeners that you wish you knew when you first started this business?
I would say focus on the customer more than anything, and don't try and go for the quick sale, and don't be at a race to the bottom. I would say never try and compete on price. Always compete on value, quality product, and keeping your customers happy, because in the long run, it works. And that's what's worked for us the whole time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, really great advice. Was there any software or tools or maybe resources that really helped you at the start of, or maybe even growing this business?
When we started, I didn't know there are a lot more softwares available now than there were, and they're always changing. So I tried a couple things, but I wouldn't say there's any one piece of software that changed the whole thing for us. We used some programs with autoresponders, that kind of stuff, when that was a big thing with Amazon. And that helped in the beginning. In fact, I didn't even know there was a software that did that. I was doing it by hand. I hired a programmer to make me something, and then I found out, there's one that exists for $19 a month. So we were doing that for a little bit, but I wouldn't say that there's a software that's changed our life. I'm sure there's plenty more resources out now that someone could use.
Yeah, it's something that, as you had mentioned, the software is always changing. It's more tactical software nowadays compared to things that really stick around for a long time, other than, I guess, using your intuition. So, yeah, I completely understand. Now, final question for you both wrapping up this call. So, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you feel that your business is worth buying?
I think we covered that. I think the fact that we don't have hundreds of SKUs. We have a few SKUs that have been selling constantly over the past 6-7 years. Our products are also evergreen, so they don't get outdated, really. They're always around. Plus, on each of the SKUs, we get a seasonal bump, and some of those seasonal bumps are opposite each other. So we'll have some that happened in springtime, some that happen in the last quarter of the year. And of course, we get a huge bump September through January. That's just massive. If we only had that, we'd be totally fine. But we figured out a way to get our products selling all through the year.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is that we've been able to support ourselves and our 2 kids, so a family of 4, doing this part-time. I spend no more than 2 hours a day usually, and Sean similar. So
we should spend more.
We should spend more.
We really should spend more.
But honestly, we realized after we're getting approached by potential buyers of our company, which we had never considered, we were happy to just keep going along.
Yeah.
But now we realize that our business is outgrowing us and we're holding it back versus us, the business holding us back.
Yeah.
It's time for us to let someone take it and run with it. And I think there's huge opportunity.
We can walk off into the sunset.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, as you had mentioned. And I'm sure all of our potential buyers as well that are looking at this listing can also see the value in what you both have created and the foundation you've built here for them to ultimately pick up and scale even further. So it's really great to see this quality of business come onto our marketplace. And that pretty much wraps up this call for you both. Was there anything else that you'd like to add that I might have missed?
No, I think we covered it.
Perfect. Well, thank you both again for jumping on the call and kind of bringing us up to speed and, all the years of work that you've put into this business and how great it's worked out for you both as well, too. And I'm sure we'll see this listing getting sold for you here in the near future.
That sounds great, Brandon. Thanks.
All right. Yeah. Thank you both. And all right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and to see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 54094. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.